to another edition of Dataquest Talks. Today we have with us Samir Raje, GM and Head of India, Zoom. Welcome, Samir.
Hi, Sunil. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. So I think I'll just get straight to it. If you look at the last 2 years, the pandemic, work from home, collaboration, Zoom, it's almost become synonymous. I mean, Zoom has become like a, common noun, like we used to have Colgate and Cherry Blossom when we were small. So I would be quite, we keep asking everyone has been their journey in the last 2 years, but I think your journey will be even more interesting. So I'd like to open with what has been the journey of both Zoom and collaboration in the last 2 years, and also one is at the global level. What have been the highlights of the India story?
Sure, I can, I can relate to it very much because given the background that I come from and having been associated with the collaboration world for a very long time in the country and also in Asia Pacific, it has been a very different journey in the last 2 years. Because if you would have asked me this question probably 2.5 years back, my question would have been, what India as a country is just gearing up for collaboration. We are just getting around the bend. But in these last 2 years, if you have to see, we have completely transformed the way we communicate, the way we collaborate, the way we interact with each other, right? And it is touching each and every phase of our life in some form or the other, because whether it is in our personal lives or whether it is our professional lives or businesses, right? So it has transformed completely in the last 2.5 years. And if I have to look at, the rest of the APAC or rest of the world, probably most of the countries were a little bit ahead of us compared to India in terms of, adopting these tools, adopting US, of course, US and Europe, of course, were quite ahead. But even in Australia and Singapore, countries like that, they're quite ahead. But in India, I think what has happened in those last 2 years is the organizations and individuals who were averse to adopting these kind of technologies have suddenly or were forced to adopt it. And having adopted it, they have seen the benefits. They have realized the benefits of whether they were an employee or whether they are an employer. Both have started seeing the benefits of it. So that's what has happened. It's a complete transformation, complete change of mind, complete mindset change in the last 2 years. And now, we being Indians, and we Indians are what good at is innovating things, like as they call it in Indian language, jugaad, right? So we are very jugaad. Now, come to jugaaduness, people, businesses, small-time traders, organizations, individuals are now realizing the power of it and making a jugaad of, okay, where can I use these collaboration tools to take my business to the next level, or my interaction or collaboration to the next level. And that's what is ticking in right now. Now, this has suddenly opened up a completely new plethora of conversations. And I would like to commend our initiatives by the government of India over here. If you would have read the article a few days back, which came in where MeitY and NASSCOM is working together to develop 100 small towns for the business processing outsourcing industry, where they're trying to get employment into those towns. And that's the strength India has, because we are in metros, we are already at the brim, and those towns are now coming up. That's where collaboration is coming in. And finally, new age technology, like we transform from, rather than going down and calling a cab, or then moving to making a phone call and waiting for half an hour and then booking a cab, now we just booking on an app. People want collaboration within all the applications that they are using it, be it healthcare, be it education, be it online purchases, be it support, be it service. Instead of just phone call, they want to interact and see the face of whom they are interacting. So video has suddenly become the new audio. So that's the transformation journey that has happened over the last 2 years or so.
And that's quite fascinating. And another thing we're interested in is, like, we do conduct these interviews, and some people say remote work suits them, some it doesn't. So from your eagle eye view, I'd like to know from you, what are the kind of jobs and industries that seem suited to the collaboration model? Is it possible to tell us about use cases, both local and global? You can either name the companies, or you can just tell the example. Either will do, depending on.
No problem, Sunil. So point number one, I mean, again, if we go back to 2 years before, probably there were very select industries where collaboration was used big time, right? And predominantly these were IT or IT, ITES, non-banking financials, and so on and so forth, which were using our services big time. Pharmaceutical technology, where technology was the new thing or in thing, right? Today it cuts across the industries, cuts across the kind of user base, and collaboration suddenly is not something which is used only in one domain. However, to give you some example, ITITES continues to, because technology is their main forte, it continues to be the key thing. But today there have been advancements such as telehealth medicine, right? So pharmaceutical has now moved on. Traditional pharmaceutical manufacturing is one, but telehealth, hospitals and healthcare systems is another one. Similarly, education is, and be it the highest of the highest education institutes like the IITs, IIMs, to small time schools, graduation schools, and K to 12 schools as well. That is coming up. Similarly, manufacturing industries have now started, as I said, jugaad, which I spoke about. Again, in Indian context now, there are variable devices and so on and so forth, where inspection of machineries or high-tech devices, real time by wearing devices and relaying it back to the subject matter experts, or even when the car goes for servicing, capturing it live and communicating back to them. So automobile, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, healthcare, education, banking, like KYC is the new norm. Like everything happens on KYC. So you may not even know that Zoom might be at the back end doing everything. So it is cutting across all the sectors at present. And these are some of the use cases, be it KYC, be it healthcare, be it education, and so on and so forth.
So yeah, I think it's like really expanding like anything. I can't predict the future. So that's what I'd like to know, is the hybrid workplace here to stay? What will be the features of this new way of working? What will be the innovations? Because, like there are two schools of thought. There are some people who think things will still go back to normal, and the other says no. I mean, we have entered a new era. So could you speak something about that?
What is the new normal is the question, right? See, again, in these last 12 months, 1 year, we all got too used to working from anywhere, working from maybe a lounge, maybe a cafeteria, maybe a garden, maybe in the car backseat, because there is something happening at home. There is, house being cleaned up and children's are howling, and there is an important call to take. We've taken calls from the backseat of our cars, or even sitting in the driver's seat. But if you look at the new age unicorns, or the digital native organizations, if I may call them, these are the literally ones which started in somebody's backyard, or really somebody's garden, or really somebody's car, right? So for them, this is all nothing new. So they are not going to change. So if you look at it, what is the new normal? New normal is you need to work from anywhere, any place, anytime, any device. That's the new normal. Now, whether you want to go to office is what? Before we used to say that, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to office. What is work? Work is suddenly now become space, because now you're working, collaborating in the space with people. So work is now space. It's no longer office. And that has changed. That thought process has changed. Now, okay, yes, human element is there. You need to be in front of somebody. You need to have this coffee conversation, probably sit down with your friends and have a drink or two. That is not going to go away. But can it be like traveling 5 days a week in the traffic? Well, tell me about it. I'm not traveling. I mean, the traffic in Mumbai is horrendous. I don't want to do that for 5 days a week. Come on, give me a break. 2 hours from just going from Andheri West to Andheri East, God, save me. Or traveling 3 hours from Borivali to BKC, I don't want to do it, right? So you can do it for a day or two. Once you're used to working from home, you're not going to do that, spending 4 hours. And then you're also so productive, because those 4 hours that you save in traveling, you're spending with your family or doing something productive, right? So to answer your question, hybrid is here to stay. People, how many days they go to office, how many days they work from home. It's not about working from home or working from office anymore. It's working from space now, and workplace is space. That's the future.
So I'd like to expand on that a bit, but before that, I'd like to know about what is the importance of maintaining privacy and security in the collaboration era, because most of the common users don't think that much about security.
Well, I think you're spot on. And people have now started realizing it, and are waking up to the fact that privacy and security is extremely important. It is no longer a fact where you can set up a meeting without a password and share the URL on a social media. Now people are, even on their social media, are locking their profiles, preventing picture downloads, are careful about accepting the invites. It's happening, but I think more needs to be done. A lot needs to be done, both by the user as well as the collaboration service providers like us ourselves. And we take the responsibility for that. We coach our users, we train our users, we conduct webinars telling them about the security aspects and so on and so forth, right? And sometimes, like maybe get termed as a bad parent, but enforce certain rules like, for a school, K to 12 school, you cannot set up a meeting without a password complexity, the length of the password, certain rules need to be mandated. So it has to be, a partnership between the end user as well as the service provider. And it cannot be single entity's responsibility, right? Yes, people are waking up to that fact, but I think a lot needs to be done.
So since we have covered security, I'd like to come back to one of the previous points you were making about, working from space, and it's like work from anywhere, WFA, that is the new norm, work from any device. So anywhere and any device, it's a everywhere workforce. So what lies ahead when you take all that into account?
Well, if you really look at, collaboration, 6 months back, 1 year back, and again, if I'll keep on using that Indian word of jugaad, right? There was a time when Zoom was just a meeting application. People would say, I want to work from home. I want to see somebody's face. I want to have a meeting, video meeting. It's no longer the case. Now, people are looking at innovative ways in terms of, hey, I want to, when somebody calls me or for support, can I see them? Can I interact? Can I guide them through video? Just imagine video support center. How fantastic that would be. You call up somebody and the help desk guy actually comes on video and starts talking to you and telling you, okay, do this, do this, do this. Wouldn't that be great instead of just on a phone call? And that all within your application where you're making a purchase. Similarly, if a salesperson comes online and guides you saying that, okay, this is what I can help you with, this is what I have in the store, this is what I can dispatch immediately. So, there are so many things on that one. So that is the first thing, which is within the environment itself, which is the integrations with the applications. The second aspect is, you mentioned about devices. Just imagine writing something on a whiteboard and getting it into the meeting itself to share with somebody who is not part of the meeting. Or maybe controlling the air conditioning temperature of your room through the same collaboration platform, bringing an IoT on it. Similarly, intelligence, artificial intelligence, or augmented reality, virtual reality, bringing it all together. And, a lot needs to be done on this, and the collaboration platforms will keep on bringing in more things. Zoom already has a lot of things. We are bringing in more. And, that's what the future is going to be, because you don't need to have different applications to run different things. One application for meeting, one application in the conference room to, manage the blinds, one application to manage the air conditioner, third, the one to do something else. Just imagine it could be one single interface. Life becomes so easy for them.
So like you said, you have that everything. So could you maybe talk a bit about the Zoom developer platform, Zoom APIs and SDKs?
So Zoom APIs and SDKs are slightly different. So this allows you to do two things, possibility of two things. And what the other features and functionalities I spoke about is slightly different. So first, I'll speak about the API SDK. So there are two things you can do. First is you can, embed Zoom into your own application of your choice. We already have some industry standard, applications and ready integrations available. It could be Salesforce, or it could be Office, and so on and so forth. So those are Outlook integrations, and so those are all available. You can go to our marketplace and just download that and start using. But supposing if you have your own application, let's say you're a bank and you're using your own banking application, you want to embed Zoom into it for your, let's say, high net worth individuals or virtual banking. Just click on it, you make a call to your virtual banker, right? You're empowering your customers. You never know, it might be Zoom somewhere. So those kind of things where you integrate Zoom into your own application. Or you could bring in an application into the Zoom meeting. Like I could have, let's say, a timer behind me, which is an application doing the countdown and saying that 30 minutes or 1 hour is over. So you can bring in applications into the meeting itself, your favorite applications. So that's what APIs and SDKs do. Now, there are other things which we are developing, such as I spoke about the IoT element, right, where you can control the certain elements of such as the aircon temperature and so on and so forth. Or we have the virtual kiosk. We also introduced what is known as a functionality of hot desking, because as you said, hybrid environment, offices have now scaled down, infrastructure is short, so only 30%, 40%, 50% people come. When they come in, they need to reserve their desk. So just imagine the same ability of booking a desk is available within the Zoom environment, right? So all those features and functionalities we are bringing in, that is a separate thing. API SDK integrations are a separate thing. So these are two different elements.
So I think I'll end with one question. Like everyone talks about the future, that is about the metaverse. How will the metaverse affect it all, and how soon can we expect it? And will our next interview be in the Zoom metaverse?
Well, that's a little bit futuristic, but as I said, there is a lot of things that can be done on the collaboration platform. Well, we already have something known as avatars. We've already announced meeting avatars, where you can have avatars. Let's say if you are not able to switch on your video, or you're in a place where you're unable to showcase you can have your avatar over there. So those things are coming in, but again, you never know what comes in and what's being worked upon. So a lot needs to be done, and we will continuously continue to evolve around it.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank you. I mean, that was quite interesting, and we live in exciting times. So it was good to sit with you and analyze the exciting times. And I assume you have any parting words, like where we are going, what is the future of Zoom, and all that.
Sure. Thank you, Sunil. And first and foremost, thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure interacting with you and your listeners and your subscribers. As a parting word, I would say that, what is collaboration? Collaboration is interaction between two people, individuals or organizations, whatever it could be. Now, if you look at any device, like for example, a mobile device 10 years back, 15 years back, there was nothing on it. Just probably an SMS and a phone call. Then came the email, then came the social media. And look at where we are. It is scary when people are crossing the road and still hooked on their screens, right? Similarly, we are now in the phase where collaboration is transforming. Right? We started off with video meetings, and today Zoom is no longer a video meeting; it's a complete collaboration platform. And right. I spoke a lot of things about it. And it is endless what you can achieve by doing this, whether integrating it into your own application, whether you can allow your employees to do hot desking, or you can even have a simple phone call with or a video meeting or a phone call with your loved ones and near ones. So that's what it is. It's a collaboration platform, and allows you to interact in every possible way with whoever of your choice. So that's the power of collaboration, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I think it's a good time to end. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sunil. It was a pleasure.